Release the Kraken!
Good evening and welcome back, fellow game designers. Ron here with Lame Duck Studios. In our previous tutorial, we went ahead and set up our particle effect for our ship. So if I hit my spacebar here, you can see we have the engine thrust kind of going. Yay. And in this tutorial, I want to fine-tune some of the features. So if I go into the ship here, let me hook this back up real quick. And enable gravity. If I start flying, you'll see that my ship actually takes off pretty fast compared to the particle effect that I have. So what ends up happening is we get this unfavorable trailing effect. After a certain velocity, we end up losing most of our particle. So you can solve it in a few ways, but the way that I'm going to tackle it in this video is by simply capping the amount of speed we can have. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off just to make room here. And you can do this at this point, or you can do it after this. It doesn't matter too much, though your results may vary. So coming in here, make some space. All I want to do is cap my velocity. So I'm going to say set linear. And come down here, we have set physics linear velocity for the ship. So there's that. Alright, so I got that. And what I want to do is get a clamp. So I'm going to right click, do clamp, and I'm going to clamp a float. So clamp float. So we'll grab that. And then I need my velocity for my ship. So get velocity. Okay. Let's open up my velocity. I'm going to right click on this return value, split the pin. And you can see that I have my X, Y, and Z values. Now my ship can only fly in the Y and the Z values, so I really don't have to worry about my X value. So I'm going to ignore that one. Let's go ahead and open this one up as well. Split it. And all I'm going to do is pass, let's see, my Y value into value. And then I have a minimum and a maximum. So I'm going to get this from my maximum velocity. So over in my variables, let's go ahead and click on that. I'll call this max velocity. Let's change this to a floating type. I'll drag that in here and get it. Before I can set the value, I have to compile. So compile. And this is going to be how fast my ship can move. So I'm going to cap it at maybe 500 meters per second or whatever it is there. I'll put max to there. And then for my min, it's just going to be my max times -1. So get that. Float times float. And I'll plug that one into minimum. And then set it to -1. So, whoops, not -10, -1. There we go. And if that bothers you, like if you're OCD and you don't like seeing that, you can really just swap the pin. Because it doesn't matter the order that you multiply in. Alright, so this times -1 goes in there, and then this is going to plug into my Y value. Okay, so that'll cap my left and right movement. Move this one here-ish. I'm going to Control W. It's going to duplicate that off. Plug my Z value in. If I double click on the wire, it'll let me drag this pin down so I can kind of space this out. And I'll plug my Z value into Z. Give some room here. And then I'm just going to drive this whole thing by my thrust value. So whenever I press my thrust key, it's going to add the force, and then after it's done adding force, it's going to go and check this value to make sure we're not going too fast. Oh, let's go ahead and select that. I'll press the C key, wrap that into a bubble. I'll call this clamp velocity. Let's spread this out here. And now if I go back to the game, I can't go too fast. So that is a quick and dirty fix for the particle system. Okay, and that'll about do it for this tutorial. In the next one, we'll look at how to set up a horizontal ship so we can fly in a more traditional fashion. Also, if you like what you're seeing, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. I'm also setting up a Patreon page, so if you'd like to suggest contents for future videos or have access to merch or early access to other videos, go ahead and check me out on Patreon/LameDuckStudios. Your support is valued, and it gives me the opportunity to focus on creating content and less on other projects. And as always, I will see you in the next video.